A big story that is trending today is that Arsenal and Liverpool have started to explore the financial and sporting parameters involving the signing of Kylian Mbappe as a free agent in the summer. It goes on to say the French striker has been admired by Jurgen Klopp's side for several years. And Duncan Castles goes on to speak about how both Arsenal and Liverpool are making serious inroads into this. And it's a very interesting deal from a financial standpoint because although it sounds like a lot of money in the outset, there's a lot of money to offset against it because Kylian Mbappe will generate for a football club a monumental amount of money coming in. That's why his image rights are so expensive. Duncan Castles is an interesting journalist because what I love about Duncan Castles is he never tries to gain. He doesn't spread lies, but he doesn't care if a story doesn't pan out. He'll say, this is what I've heard or this is what I've been told. Where some of the sort of more transfer specific journalists, they're like, well, I've been told this, but I'm not going to mention it because if it doesn't pan out that way, it will go down as a one I got wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when you actually speak to journalists, and I've spoke to many, I've actually had conversations about who internally, who in your industry actually looked at as an amazing journalist. And every single one of them has said Duncan Castles is like almost the go-to guy by 95% of other journalists if they want to get clarity on a story, they want to run something by him. So it's an interesting one that they're looking at him. How good would it be to see Mbappe in the Premier League with Haaland already here, in your opinion?
Oh, I mean, look, we'll go to the realism to this in a minute, but for that question, it would be amazing. Yeah, you'd then have Haaland and Mbappe that I suppose, I don't know this for sure, can be the nowhere near them ability-wise, by the way, nowhere near them, but the new Messi v Ronaldo, like what they had at Barca and Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It would be amazing to see. I don't see him at either of those two football clubs. That's you know what we said just now about other fan bases liking me. This is going to be one of the moments where I single-handedly piss off Liverpool. I think he's bigger than both of those two clubs. What I mean by that is I'm not saying they're not massive clubs because they are and they're bigger than my club, but I can't see why would he leave on a free and not end up at Real Madrid. That for me is what I don't know. I can't see why he would go to Arsenal or Liverpool over Real Madrid, who will definitely try and get him on a free, right?
Well, he's going to be free this summer. Yes, he'll be on a free. Right. But then free transfers are not really free transfers because the level of signing on fee you end up paying the player. It's for people that perpetuate net spend, it's free. But for everyone that lives in the real world of football finance, there's no such thing as a free lunch. But I hear you. Look, listen, I get where you're coming from. The one thing though about this story that winds me up is the Premier League has more money than anywhere else.
Yeah,
and I understand, and I do understand. Listen, the prestige and the allure of that all-white kit of Real Madrid is beyond special. It is beyond special. The Champions Leagues, the history, the heritage, the fame of that football club is, in my personal opinion, the only club when it comes to the heritage and the history of it, which I think is as prestigious or close, not as, it's a lie, close to their prestige is Man United, but we are not performing at a level that reflects the heritage and the history of our football club. But I look at Liverpool and think to myself, that is a juggernaut. Liverpool are a club where they have ridiculous levels of history, huge pedigree in the Champions League, one of the best teams in the Premier League right now. Mm-hmm. They could be losing Mo Salah in the summer.
Yeah.
And Mo Salah could be on his way to Saudi. And for me, and I'll go into Arsenal in a minute, but Liverpool, in my personal opinion, if they are not bending over backwards to try to sign Mbappe, they should not be scared of being rejected. They should not be scared of losing out. I think they've got to try and do this. And I think with the Premier League's income, the money they would receive from selling Salah, the salary they save from moving him on, and the income the Premier League clubs generate, the additional money he would make, they should be making him a world record offer for a Premier League team. They should be making him an offer that is almost impossible to refuse. Because if Liverpool were to do that, it would be a game changer. Not just for the Premier League as a whole, but for them. Sure. Suddenly, like if Mbappe joined Liverpool now, today, this moment, suddenly their title credentials go up 1,000,000% because he's that goddamn good at scoring goals. And I look at it, and they should be. When it comes to Arsenal, again, people will laugh and go, no chance, no chance. And I understand it. I think their chances are slim. Their chances are slim. But you've got to try. You've this notion of, I remember in the summer when they're talking about him being available, and we had Ben Jacobs on, said a lot of clubs won't try because they just don't want to be rejected. That makes sense to me. It's like if you're a single man and you're out in a bar and there she is, and depends on what woman you dream. It could be Beyonce, it could be Billie Eilish, it could be Megan Fox, I don't know. For some people, it could be Nora Batty. I don't know. It depends on your age and your demographic. But if you know Nora Batty, if you know who Nora Batty is.
I wasn't expecting that to come out your mouth. Okay, all right.
There might be some people in their 70s and 80s watching. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why not? Go on, Nora.
You've got to give your chance to go. You've got to give your chance to go. If you're not in it, you can't win it. And I do think the Premier League clubs have a chance. I think the Premier League is that strong of a league. I believe the clubs are big enough, but I think they've got to believe in themselves. If they do this whole
clubs,
no clubs. I think they are clubs.
Plural.
Clubs. Yeah, I think in the Premier League, I think Liverpool, I think Arsenal, I think City, I think Chelsea, I think Man United are big enough. Are Chelsea and Man United in a position to sign him, status-wise, what we're challenging for? No. But I think we are. I think the problem that we have sometimes is we have this inferiority complex when it comes to Madrid and Barcelona. And that's where all the top foreign players go. Because typically the top English players stay in England. All the top players want to go there. Why have that defeatist attitude? Go for it. Take your shot. You might miss out, but you should go for it. In my personal opinion.
I don't doubt that some of them should go for him. I've not doubted that. I just think the moment Real Madrid put their cards on the table, it's that football heritage. Just to be really cheesy and drop that in, it is. It's Real Madrid have been after this guy for how many years? Real Madrid always have a Galactico. Real Madrid need a goal scorer. Listen, if any of those teams get him, fair play to them, is what I'd say. I can't see past Real Madrid. It's that lure of Real Madrid's history. It's that lure of a Galactico. It's that lure of the Bernabeu. And I think he didn't take the chance to join them the first time. I think he will this time. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Listen, I'll tell you what. Listen, if Arsenal or Liverpool got Mbappe, damn, I'm worried. Obviously, you're worried. I just expect it to be Real Madrid. I think most people would probably go, yeah, it's probably going to be Real Madrid.
No, and I understand, and I do understand that. Twisted with a weird comment says, Terry, don't be deluded. Mbappe won't join United for historical reasons. I quite literally said he wouldn't. You freak, you absolute freak. Shows how desperate some people are to catch you out. They actually don't listen to what you say. But no, I totally understand that. But I just think Mbappe, you stick him in that Arsenal team. They close the gap on. They're not far behind City now. They're not as good as City. Not far behind them, but he bridges that gap, and that's why I think you've got to go for it because Man City have a player. Again, Haaland has got different strengths to Mbappe, but
very different players. Yeah,
very different players. But essentially, what Mbappe is scoring goals. Like he's not renowned for being this overly creative, brilliant passer, controller of the tempo. He uses speed, he uses his skill, and he scores lots of goals. Haaland uses speed, power, and scores lots of goals. They do it in different ways, but they're essentially the end result is the same player. They score lots of goals, and Man City have one, and this is why I think. When you're Liverpool, when you're Arsenal, whoever's trying to compete with City, you have to look at it and go, well, and that would be the selling point. And that is how I think you can, that is for me, a way of convincing.
Yeah. The plan is you go, whoever it is, goes to Mbappe's agent, goes to Mbappe and says, we are building a team around you. You are going to be the guy that wrestles back the title from Man City or whoever wins it this year. You are our guy. We are going to build around you. Everything's going to be about you. You're our main man. Come and join. Take us to the glory we need. That's fine. I would fear any team in the world that gets Mbappe. I mean, you think if Madrid get Mbappe and then they've got Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, and Rodrigo as a front three. I mean, obviously they can change it up, right? Scary. What if Man City go in and get? I don't think that's the type of player. I genuinely don't think that's the type of player that Pep will go and get. If I'm honest, I don't think he will. But
no,
I think City could. Real Madrid could. I don't know who else could. If I'm brutally honest, I don't know who else is in that position at the moment.
Well, we don't need
enough to get him.
Yeah, we don't need him. We've got Rashford. We're fine. So we don't need him. Do you know what I mean? And there we go.
Terry Flewers. Rashford's better than Mbappe. There you go. There's tomorrow's line.
Yeah, I know. But listen, that's how I would sell that. How I would sell it. Listen, one thing I'd say about Mbappe is this: I think he has an ego. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think players like him need an ego.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd be saying, look, Bellingham's a star. Vinicius is probably ahead of you. You go Arsenal or you go Liverpool. You are the star. And that is what I'd sell him.
Is Vinicius above him? If he goes to Real Madrid, he's the main man, isn't he?
But then again, maybe not. But Bellingham right now, who's going to, in terms of the way, there's always a player in teams like that where the play is done in a certain way. And when Ronaldo was there, it was a start. And the play and the way the team operated, it was to elevate him to his best because he was the best player. Messi at Barcelona, everything, other players were involved, of course, but it was done in a way where, Messi wasn't the guy that was like, you're going to play out wide on the left and ensure that we're creating the chances for Henry. It was the other way around, right? That's what's going to be interesting, the dynamic at Real Madrid. And it's interesting with Madrid because it's like they're building another Galacticos and they're doing it a little different. They're buying these Galacticos before they're Galacticos when they're young. But that didn't work either because that's the one thing I say that could go wrong with their plan is there is an arrogance that comes with Galactico-style players in terms of they all want to be the star. But you can't in a team. Some people have to take a back seat. And it's the element of, well, you've got so many class players there. Who is going to be the star? Who are they going to build around? Could they end up with too many cooks spoil the broth? And that would be how
true, but I don't think they've got that at the moment. I don't think they've got that.
Okay.
I think since they've lost Benzema, Bellingham's picked up good old Roms. Bellingham's picked up some slack and scored goals. I think they're lacking one player. I think they're lacking someone. And when you look, when all is said and done, don't we all know he's going to Real Madrid? If he's on a free transfer, I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
I'll ask you a question. He's a free transfer, right? Mbappe's agent turns around to Mbappe and says, right, we've got 5 offers on the table for you here. We've got Real Madrid, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. Do we truly believe that he bypasses the first 2 to go to the second 3? Truly.
No, and that's why it's harder. The smaller you get as a club, the harder it is to pull off. But at the same time, what I would be, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here and going at it from an angle of what you could do to convince him. Real Madrid are the front runners. There's absolutely no doubt about it, but they should be in. Let's go to some of these super chats.